This here is the rotor lathe. May look complicated, but it is not hard at all. So first thing you're gonna need is a rotor. Then you're gonna want to use this piece, which is basically like a hub-centric ring. It makes the rotor and it makes this turn at the same speed, so they're one piece, so it's easier to cut the rotor. You want to put it in. You want to put it like that. Then you want to use this key to tighten it. Surface, clean the balance shaft. Then you want to grab a spacer and make sure that it fits in the back of the rotor that you're going to cut on, and it's spacer first. Then it's the whole rotor and piece, rotor assembly. Then it's an additional metal spacer. Then it's a rubber spacer that helps absorb back and forth vibration. Then it's the lock nut. Now the lock nut is reverse threaded, so it's lefty tighty and righty loosey. You grab the open end wrench and it's tight. But before you go cutting, you're going to need to put a silencer band on it. Alright, now the silencer band is on. I don't know if you can see, but right here, there is a lock nut that moves this piece back and forth. And what you want to do is you want to take the open end wrench. You want to loosen that. You want to move it all the way back. Then you want to snug it down. It doesn't have to be super tight. I know a lot of people tighten it to like the max. Then you loosen up these tabs right here and you move the dials. You move these dials all the way out. After the dials are all the way out, you use this here and you run it all the way to the center. Run it all the way to the center of the rotor. Afterwards, you turn the machine on. You get the dial as close as you can to the rotor without hitting it, and that's just to check for lateral runout, which is back and forth movement of the rotor. This one has some, but it doesn't have a lot. So when I cut this is just a scrap rotor anyway, but when I cut it, it's gonna have a big, like kind of like space of uncut material. And then you want to just make a scratch cut so that it goes all the way around. I can already see that there's a big gap. Then afterwards you want to snug that down. These knobs here, you want to snug those knobs down. And then afterward you want to use this dial and run it all the way in. And you don't want to go off. Afterwards, you set this dial here is the speed. I set the speed all the way to slow because I want a slow cut. And then there's this knob here that turns it, that makes it go, that makes this dial turn by itself. So you push it in first to make sure that's all the way in. Then you pull it out, and as you can see, it rotates by itself. And now you can hear it, and now you can hear that it's cutting.